Hello everyone, welcome back to Past Quirks, and we have quite an interesting thing for you today because we're interviewing the King of England himself. Greetings, sire.
Greetings.
This is Henry VIII, I take it.
Yes, indeed it is Henry VIII, your lord and master.
If I may make so bold, sire, what was it that made you want to be king?
It wasn't so much a want to be king. I was born to be king. I was the son of a king. Therefore I became king. Sure, obviously there was the period when Arthur, my older brother, was still alive and he was heir to the throne, but unfortunately he died very young. Baton passed on to me, so to speak.
When you were a child, did you have any inspirations growing up at all?
Somebody who had a very big, significant impact upon my upbringing was my maternal grandmother, Margaret Beaufort. She's the one who actually told me that education is important. She was a very, very smart, very educated lady, and she did my early years of education, so I was very much formed by her, so to speak. But I studied all sorts of things: languages, grammar, theology, history, rhetoric, logic, philosophy, arithmetic, logic, literature, geometry, music. And that was only on a Monday.
Well, it certainly keeps one busy, doesn't it? So, is there anyone then that you would say like to thank from the past? I heard, for instance, that Erasmus was one of your tutors.
Erasmus was a fascinating man. Awfully good card player, actually. He wasn't really a terrible card player. I'm lying through my teeth. But he was certainly a very inspirational character. I'll say that for him.
So now that you've arrived here in the modern day, how would you describe the sort of work you do in this day and age? And do you have any advice for anyone who wants to sort of help you?
Well, in this modern day, obviously far too many people have forgotten about the Tudors, and I need to go and educate them about it. What better way than that than to go around schools, bringing the excitement of the Tudor court to children, because what better way to teach them? Children are like little sponges. Their minds soak up information, so if you could entertain them and tell them all about how wonderful the Tudor world was, then you've got them. So yes, I love going around schools. Also enjoy still doing a bit of jousting, you know. It's still going. You find it out there, particularly with the Knights of Riding, a very good team.
Yeah, no, I've seen them myself, actually. They're pretty impressive. So I suppose that ties in really with my next question is, are there any particular projects that have been special to you or anything coming up?
Well, I very much enjoyed taking part in the Ice Bucket Challenge some years ago. Unfortunately, I caught nearly a death of cold, so that was silly. I'm hoping, as I'm still alive, that I'll eventually one day finish None Such Palace. It's been a long and winding road, as one very famous troubadour once put it. But one day we shall have it finished. It'll be none such like it. It'll be the most magnificent palace in the whole of Europe. The French can take their Versailles and stick it right up their Verdun, as far as I'm concerned.
I see from the Field of Cloth of Gold that relations with Francis I weren't exactly the best, were they? But speaking of celebrities, have you actually met anyone of note yourself?
I knew one or two actresses from the Tudor times, and yes, you know, they're interesting characters, these actors. Many of these actresses were stretched by some very demanding parts, if you catch my drift. As for the modern period, yes, I've met many of your modern people. I've met somebody called Jerry Halliwell, who I believe was formerly a thing called a Spice Girl, which sounds filthy. I've had the pleasure of meeting such wonderful historians like Alison Weir and the beautiful Natalie Dormer, who was in the Tudors. I did a little thing with her. Shame it was only little. But also, yes, many people I've met over the years. It's been great fun, terrific. It's better than working for a living, you know.
Yeah, I can completely get that fascination, actually. One of my wife's relatives is a bit obsessed with Henry Cavill, who plays the Duke of Suffolk in the Tudors. So, aside from obviously your own time period, are there any other time periods since you've arrived here in the present day that interest you?
I find the whole Saxon period fascinating, the pre-Norman conquest England, reading about such wonderful people as Alfred the Great and Athelstan, people like that. I find that a fascinating period, just because there's so little we know about it, and it's interesting to find out as much as you can. And of the more modern era, love the Edwardian period. Very much enjoy that. And if I had a time machine, I would love to go back properly. Well, of course, I have got a time machine, so I'm here, silly me. But I'd love to go and see the swinging 60s, because I think Henry VIII would have a whale of a time there.
But who would you actually spend the time with in those eras?
I would have a dinner party, and the two people I would invite would be Oscar Wilde and Spike Milligan, because I think we would laugh ourselves silly all evening. Two of the most incredible wits the world has ever seen. And yes, I said wits.
Now, as king, what is your favourite location in the UK? Do you have one? And again, why is it your favourite?
I have a very soft spot for Hever Castle in Kent. Always have done. Will never end. It's where I met my beloved Anne. Bless her. If only I was here now, I'd give her a big high 6. And I do miss the place, and I'd like to go back there again soon. And I'm also very, very partial to a place called Uffington in Oxfordshire, where there is carved upon the hill an ancient white horse of very ancient Rome, they believe up to possibly 3,000 years old, chalk figure. And I find that, for some reason, very, very much at home. When I go there, I feel very much at home.
Now, obviously, Tudor society has since broken down since you've arrived here. Are there any groups or organisations that you've met with personally in this era that you'd recommend to anyone who's interested in the sort of work that you do within heritage?
English Heritage are awfully good. I like them a lot. I've done a few bits and pieces with them. They've been very kind to me. Also, any of the very good, as I say, the jousting teams are still out there. The very best of all, of course, is the Knights of Royal England, based near Hever Castle. They put on a spectacular show, and I hear their commentator is particularly talented and good. Look into them. I'm sure you will find them very interesting. And anybody who's very good friends with the old television series Time Team, if you find the Friends of Time Team on a thing called Facebook, they're very helpful as well.
Now, obviously, you're a big guy in heritage. I mean, everyone's heard of Henry VIII. Do you have any big projects on the horizon? Do you think you do anything different once you get back to your own time? I mean, do you have any projects you want to do here? And if so, if there's anything happening sort of in this era, do you have any information for the general public so they can find out a bit more about what's happening?
Obviously, I'd love to get back to Tudor England. It's my home. I'm still hoping. I've been doing a series of things called films, movies, short comedy movies. We did one called The Six Wives of Henry VIII in 4 minutes. Then we did another one called Henry VIII and All Because the Lady Loves. And all these sort of films, they do things in trios, don't they? A bit like the Simon Pegg and Nick Frost Cornetto trilogy. And we've got one lined up we'd like to film called Henry VIII, The Field of the Cloth of Gold, which will be our finale, our final silent movie. So hopefully we'll get that finished at some point. But if you need to know more about Henry, you'll come and see me at my website, www.goodkinghal.co.uk, or go on to Facebook, that Facebook thing again, and just type in Good King Hal, and you will find me on there.
Lovely. Thank you very much, sire.
You're an absolute crawler, Hudson, but thank you very much for asking those questions anyway. And I just wanted to know, and I would like it in cash, please, this time, because the cheque bounced last time.
It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with the actual Henry VIII. And by the way, you're looking very good. If you don't mind me saying so, sire, I best go now before I get my head chopped off. Thank you very much.
Are you still there? Has he gone? Damn it.